Are you ever looking for a specific color and you can only find it in a gel polish or nail lacquer color, but you actually prefer the strength that a dip powder gives you? Well, in today's video, I'm going to show you how you can have both. You can have the strength of a dip powder and still use the color you want. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome back. I'm Jeannie and I came across the same situation where I had a dip powder that I wanted to match exactly and I found it in a gel polish. So I'm going to show you how I used both to achieve the look I wanted. I bought this really adorable acrylic powder from Sensations of the Eye Acrylic, and it had these really adorable, I think, Fimo avocado pieces, and I really wanted to match the avocados that were in here, but I couldn't find a dip powder in my collection. I know, crazy, right? Because I've got so many hundreds of dip powders, but I couldn't find a dip powder that matched it exactly. But what I did find is I have this mood changing glow gel from iGel Beauty, and it kind of matched it perfectly, and I was really excited. But of course I still wanted to do dip, so I'm going to do both so I can have the strength and the color, and I'm really excited to show this to you today because they look so good together. For my dip powder underneath my gel polish, I'm just going to use my clear dip powder with my absolute favorite large jar. So this is from Dipp'd, and I absolutely love their clear. You probably already know by now how much I love it. I'll also be using my double dipped dip liquids for this mani, and I do have an affiliate code. You can use code Purplicious18 to save 18% off your order. So I'm going to start with my clear first, and that's going to go on my pinky and thumb, and I'm just going to do 2 dips of clear on each of those fingers. And I will note I am wearing full coverage tips, so if I don't necessarily have to do dip powder, I could just paint the gel polish over my full coverage tips and that would be fine as well. So it's really a matter of personal preference. I mean, for me, I'm pretty rough on my hands, but these iGel Beauty Pro Gel tips, they don't break on me. It's very, very rare that they break on me. So I would be comfortable just putting gel polish on top of these and not worry about them breaking. But if you need a little more strength, you can definitely use dip powder. And that's what I'm doing here, just so I can show you using gel polish on top of your dip powder. But I will also add that if you want to add extra strength to your full coverage tips and dip powder just is not your jam, you could also use builder gel as well. So both are an overlay on those tips that will give you strength. You could also use poly gel. iGel Beauty has their sculpture gel. There are different ways that you can achieve adding strength to your tips, so you're not confined to just dip powder. So once my first layer was completely dry, I went ahead and scrubbed it with a stiff scrub brush. So now I'm going in with my second layer. I'm only going to do 2. You can do more. It really depends on what you want to do. You can do less, you can do more. You really don't have to do a certain amount of layers. It really just depends on what your personal preference is. If you're curious why my tips don't look completely clear, I actually love putting just a thin layer of gel polish on top, just in case I decide to not put something on top of my tips right away. I like just that little bit of sheer coverage. So I actually used West Coast Dips rubber base gel, and this is in the color I think 005, which is just the most beautiful sheer pink. So it's not that the clear has a tint of pink, it's just that I am wearing a thin layer of rubber base coat on top of my full coverage tips. Once my second layer is completely dry, I'm going to make sure I give it a good scrub with a stiff scrub brush, and then I'm going to go ahead and activate my nails. And while that's working, I will start on my avocado nails. While my activator is working, I'm going to go ahead and start on You Had Me At Avocado, which is the Sensations of the Eye acrylic dip powder, acrylic powder, same difference. And the thing about Sensations of the Eye is all her powders come in these little baggies. And I used to always buy Beautycom jars off of Amazon, which I'll leave the link below down in the description if you need jars. But what I found is I don't need jars. I'm just taking up more space. So I have these Dipp'd in Chaos from Chaos Concepts. Why don't I just use those? And the baggies take up a lot less room to store. So I'm kind of shifting my mindset and keeping them in the baggies. So because this is kind of a chunkier, it's not even a glitter really, well, it's got glitter hearts in it because it is chunkier though. So look at these little avocados. So I think they're like that Fimo material, so they are thicker, so it's going to be harder to encapsulate, but they are so cute that it is so worth it. I'm not going to really show you my encapsulation in this video. I do use builder gel just because the Fimo pieces are so thick, but let me know if you want me to show you encapsulation in a different video. But anyway, so what I'm doing here is I am pouring over for my first layer. So I poured out the baggie into one of my Dipp'd in Chaos, and then I'm pouring over into another Dipp'd in Chaos because I have a ton of them. And so I'm kind of doing it the same way I do a chunky glitter method because I want less pieces on my first layer, and then I will pick up the glitters on my second layer. I think the avocados are just too thick to be picked up on my second layer even, which is completely fine because I'm going to hand place them because you definitely don't want too many of those on your nail. I'm popping back in because I had to zoom in and just show you how stinking adorable these avocados are. I mean, this has got to be the cutest dip powder ever, and I am absolutely obsessed with it. It's just so unique. So it's got these really adorable avocados with the cute little faces, which they did give me a little struggle picking up, but I did get them. But I did fish them out and some hearts separately. That way, when my dip base was wet, I wasn't kind of fishing through the dip powder. I wanted them readily available. And then just the fact that it's got not only the avocados, it's got the red hearts, which are thin glitters, and then the green hearts, which are also thin glitters, but they match the avocados perfectly. I mean, so cute. This has got to be one of my favorite dip powders just because it's so adorable. But anyway, I'm going to stop gushing about these avocados. You can see for yourself, and then I'll be back for when I get to the gel polish. Once I've got everything all placed, I'm going to go ahead and give my pinky and thumb a quick buff. It's not going to require much work at all, and this is my favorite buffer ever. So this is from iGel Beauty, and it's a 100-180 grit buffer, and I absolutely love it. So the nails are pretty smooth anyway. I only did 2 thin layers of clear dip powder over my tips, so there's not much work at all. I just want to smooth them out a little bit. Before I apply my gel polish, I want to make sure that I'm clearing my nails of any dust because that will get into the polish and make it look lumpy. So I'm using this alcohol wipe that I bought off of Amazon, and I'll leave the link down below in the description. Usually I use a lint-free wipe and a bottle of rubbing alcohol, but I don't know, I was just being lazy and I have these wipes anyway, so that's what I'm going to use. So before I get into the gel polish color, I'm going to start with a layer of gel base first. Gel base is important before you apply any gel base color. No, before you apply any gel polish color, but it's really important before you apply it on dip powder because dip powder is smooth and your gel polish will peel off if you don't have that layer of gel base first. So this is the West Coast Dips Hema Free Gel Base, and I'm just going to go ahead and apply that to all my nails and cure that for a full 30 seconds. Moving into my gel polish, this is GUMDROP by iGel Beauty, and it is a mood change glow polish. So mood change meaning it's a thermal, and I do have an affiliate code with iGel Beauty, so you can use code Purplicious15, and that'll save you 15% off your order at any time. So talking about my application of the gel polish, I want to make sure all my layers are thin and even. You want to make sure that your layers aren't too thick. If they are too thick, they may not cure properly. You could get wrinkling. So make sure that they're as thin as even as possible. And I'm not the best at painting. I am really practicing my gel polish lacquer application because I have been really terrible about it in the past, and I don't want to get gel polish on my skin and cause an allergy. Especially when it comes to like the cuticle area, that was the worst for me. So before I got into dip powder, I used to just paint my nails with regular nail lacquer. And no joke, I would just end up painting my whole finger, you know, just getting it on my skin. I didn't really care. And then I would just scrub it off later in the shower, but definitely don't want to do that with gel polish. So what I do is I kind of paint my nail from like the middle of my nail down towards the free edge. And then once I get to my cuticle area, I put my brush just below my cuticle area and then I push it up towards my cuticle, and I find that's what works best for me. I'm still not the greatest at it, but I've been practicing and I definitely do think I'm getting better at my gel polish application, but obviously could always still use room for improvement. So after my first layer was done, I went ahead and gave it a full cure for 60 seconds. It probably only needed 30, but I just did 60 to be safe. So now I'm going in with my second layer. Same thing. I want thin layers. I want to make sure that it's even. I want to make sure there isn't any streakiness or any splotchiness. With lighter colors, more neon colors, it becomes a little more difficult to work with. This one was easy, but it did get a little streaky, so I'm just making sure to even out those streaks. I probably could have stood for a third layer, but I think it was really good after two, so I left it at that. And then if I have any areas that were a little off, I just took this cleanup brush. It's a dry brush, and I just cleaned up my cuticle area. I prefer to use a dry brush, so I'm not pushing around wet gel polish on my skin, but I know some people like to prefer. I think some people prefer using a cleanup brush with a little bit of alcohol, so it's whatever you decide to do. The mood change in this polish was super, super subtle, so I couldn't really capture it on camera, but wait till you see the glow. It glows so, so bright. So what you saw there is I actually turned my thumb upside down, and that was to help level the polish a little bit more. And then I gave it a full cure for 60 seconds. And now I'm going to go in with my pinky. And so I just want to kind of call out what I'm doing so you can kind of see what I mean when I talk about my cuticle area and how I'm not just placing my brush at the cuticle area and then brushing down. I'm placing my brush a little below my cuticle area and then pushing my brush up to the cuticle area. And I really feel like that's made a huge difference in making a cleaner cuticle line. now that my 2 layers of gel polish are complete and cured, I'm going to go ahead and top coat them and finish them off. So I've got my West Coast Dips Ultra Shine Gel Top Coat, and this is their Hema Free formula. And of course, I have fuzz on my nail. So make sure you get that fuzz out before you end up curing it in your nail, because I have done that many times. So I'm applying a thin, even layer of gel top coat. Make sure you're capping your free edge. That will also help prevent peeling of gel polish from your dip powder. And just make sure everything is thin and even, free edges capped, and then you can do the same thing. You can turn your finger upside down to help it level a little bit, although this gel polish is really great at leveling. And then you can give it a full cure for 60 seconds. Since I'm going to do my pinky anyway, I'm just going to flash cure my thumb. So 10-15 seconds of my lamp, just so it doesn't move. And then I will do my pinky, and then I will give it a full cure so that they can both cure together. And that'll limit my exposure in my lamp. I went ahead and finished up my avocado nails off camera, so of course I'm going to finish off with my cuticle oil. So this is Scales of a Mermaid in the scent Golden. I found this in my drawer recently, so you know you have too many cuticle oils when you keep losing them. But this one is a kind of fruity margarita type set. It's very summery. I really love it. And so I've been loving using this as well lately, and I think it kind of matches my mani. I've got a thing for some reason of matching my cuticle oils to my manis when I can. I don't know, it's a weird thing, but I enjoy it. I know I skipped over encapsulating my avocado nails with my clear builder gel, and that's because I didn't want the video to get too long, and I wanted to focus mainly on applying gel polish over dip powder. I didn't want it to be all over the place with including encapsulation and all that other stuff. But if that's something you want to see, let me know and I can make a separate video on encapsulating with builder gel. So here's how we're looking after we're all done. How cute. I'm still not over how cute these avocados are, and I think the gel polish matches so perfectly. So I'm definitely glad I didn't discount the gel polish. And let me show you the glow. This gel polish glows so bright to the point of where it was a little distracting at night. Not that I mind, because I have so much fun with glows. So anyway, here's how we look. I'm really happy with the way it turned out, and I'm really, really glad I used this gel polish because I like the way it kind of tied in the colors from the little avocados and the little green hearts. So definitely, if you find a color you love and it's a gel polish and nail lacquer, but you prefer dip powder, you can still use them. And even, you know, like I said, before I got into dipping, I used to use nail lacquers, so I have a ton of them. I don't have to throw them away. I can still use them, and I can put them on top of my dip powder. So you really have endless possibilities with that. So I hope this was helpful. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, I'd appreciate it if you gave this video a thumbs up. It lets me know to continue creating content like this, and it also helps YouTube recommend me to others. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I upload content every Monday and Thursday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you want to be notified anytime I upload, hit that notification bell down below. As always, I appreciate you being here. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.